So over the holidays, I bought an abandoned storage locker at auction because I'm an adult and I have free will. And this wasn't meant to be like a business venture. It's more of like a fun hobby that makes me money. That's kind of been what I've been doing for the past 3 weeks. I sold a lot of the stuff, so this is not nearly as full as it was when I first started. But I have a couple of pieces of furniture that I need to fix up and get rid of in the next couple of weeks. And I've just been really kind of, my month of December was mostly spent doing whatever. And I think I just needed that. I think this fall I gave myself permission to just investigate and pursue whatever I felt like. And being in a position when I'm in the driver's seat again, when I'm doing something and not just thinking and reading and talking to people online, where I was actually, okay, let me just go out and do this, has been extremely validating and felt really good. So much so that my plan, which was initially to do this for 4 months, kind of became, this is what I'm doing now. And those experiments that I've been doing, while they can look all over the place, which I mean they really are, but also kind of there's a point now where I'm at a point now where I'm able to connect the dots. And I was talking with my mentor this morning, who was kind of pointing out that the rental thing has been a common theme, because if you look 10 years ago when I was doing food room, at that point I was already kind of renting out space for people who couldn't have access to it by, mutualizing, which is kind of what I'm doing now. I've been doing Amazon FBA for a couple years, where I was taking used stuff and putting it in the hands of other people. This is what I'm doing with the storage locker as well, right? I'm buying a bunch of could be junk. I mean, you really don't know what you're getting, right? And I'm selling it, finding new home for things, fixing up things. I'm sitting on a humidifier. I'm gonna clean that up and sell it. But it's just incredibly rewarding. There's something really cool about like saving things from going to the landfill, and that's not something it's not something that's glamorous. It's not something that you imagine when you're like, oh, this person is a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever. I mean, if you look at the got junk guy, I guess that is kind of that, right? But there aren't that many success stories, or it's not something that's like sexy by the standards of like, look, I raised $5 million and whatnot. And I was kind of considering, like, I bought this storage locker mid-December. I had made my money back and then some, less than 2 weeks. And I was wondering if I should buy more, because it's really fun. And if you look at the spread of the time I spent and the money I made, definitely not sexy. If I made $25 an hour, that's probably good. I don't think I did though. Like, I made money and I'm having fun, so does it matter? I don't know. But now I'm at a point where I need to kind of go back to reality and work with my clients and deliver other things, which is probably the main reason why I'm not going to keep doing this full time. But I am really interested in keeping up with those ideas that I have and investing more time into trying things. I don't know what form that's going to have yet. Like, if I'm going to start a bunch of mini businesses and kind of investigate, because the investigating part is cool, but I think the putting into action is better. And that's the part that's a bit harder to set up. So I do want to find some time and find a way to go further than I've looked into a business and did a bunch of research. I want this to translate into action more. And I will try to keep doing that. And maybe I'll buy a few storage lockers here and there for fun because I can. But this is just like a distraction probably, because my time is spent here cleaning up some fridges and things. But I like it, so I don't think it matters at this point. I think 2026 will be a year of me doing what I feel like. mostly. There's still like a part of me that's doing work for clients in a structured manner because I still need to eat and pay rent and whatever. But I'm at the place where I've accepted that it doesn't matter anymore. Like the main goal is not to just make so much money that I don't know what to spend it on. The main goal is to feel fulfilled and challenged and stimulated. That's what I'm going for this year. So it's now been a little bit over a month since I went on this completely random adventure of renting out washing machines, and I wanted to give you an update on what has happened since then. As of December 1st, that's when I did my first official rental and billed clients. So I spent about $2,500 total to make it happen, buy all the sets, install them, rent the trucks in this warehouse. I wanted to take a beat and wait for January 1st to see if all my payments were going to go through, because I didn't want to invest more money without knowing if I was going to get paid. So I did end up getting paid, but on January 1st, 3 of the 4 credit cards did not go through. 2 of them were Visa debit cards, so the people actually have to put money on them for the payments to go through, which is something I did not know or realize at the time. Not making that mistake again. It really kind of pissed me off on the 1st of the year to have to call people and be like, hey, your credit card bounced, can you give me another one? In the grand scheme of things, I don't know that it's something that I want to keep doing because I don't feel like having to chase people for money. I do really like the model and like the time commitment and logistics of it. I'm just not sure if I think there's a world where I think there's a world where I can take some of the stuff I've learned in this business test and explore other products or services that I could be doing, which would kind of cater to a client base that has more money. The logistics of renting out washing machines basically involves that you're renting out washing machines to people who not necessarily have money to afford a set outright, which means that the credit cards are more likely to bounce already. And I don't really feel like having to deal with that. I do appreciate how little work it is though, because now theoretically these sets are there and potentially I get no calls for the next year. And that's really nice. Like that's really nice. And I was talking to my mentor about this whole thing this morning, and I'm conflicted. I'm not ready to give it up completely yet, but I also don't like this current setup of things. I think there are definitely things I could do to de-risk my investments moving forward, where I would basically have people sign a contract before I install the things, before I set up an appointment. So I'm not coming to your house unless you have signed a contract. So in those contexts, I would have all the information I need prior to installing. And I would also avoid having people cancel on me. And I could also do credit checks, even though that's a bit more expensive because I have to do it every time. But at least if I were to do that and be a bit more strict with the type of clients I take, I think at least that aspect of my business would be a bit more secure. So I don't know. At this point, I'm not ready to invest more money into this. So I might pick it back up in the spring or something, because I did just spend $2,500. So I'm gonna wait a couple more months, do a bunch of other things, and investigate that rental space more, because that's really something I'm interested in. I just don't think this is just exactly the right fit of what I had in mind. So, but I mean, like, there's a huge opportunity. Like, finding wash dryer sets is surprisingly easy. I just feel like I would want like a nicer space where I have electricity and I can test those things, and plumbing to, wash and test the washing machine properly. So yeah, I'm putting a pin in it. It's running, so I'm just like not investing more money right now. But I do want to investigate that specific niche, like companies like Hydro Solutions, which is basically renting water heaters, is something that the model really makes sense. You're selling convenience, because some people don't want to bother having to buy a new thing or don't know how to install it. And I think that aspect of it is really cool, and there's definitely a need for it. I just need to figure out who the right clients are for what kind of product and how I can kind of build an offer that's similar to that. If you have ideas of things that you've seen other than Hydro Solutions or other companies or in other places that, I could import concepts or something, I'm in a very broad research phase right now, but if you have anything to send my way, or if you heard or seen, I would love to look into it, so send me a message. If something is scary, you should just do that. Do the scary thing. Like the other things, if they're not scary, they're probably not worth doing. So yeah, I'm gonna keep putting these rambling on the internet, and maybe one day something cool will happen out of it.